Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm back with another one. This is for people who want to set custom zones like PVE zones, PVP zones, or zones that you can do specific things in. So what you're going to do as a server admin, or if you're in your single player, you're going to press escape, you're going to go to server settings, then you're going to go to custom zones. Now, global configurations versus regions, your regions are related to these are your regions essentially, okay? These are the painted areas on the map, this is what this is. Now your global configuration is something completely different. So I'm going to click on my PvE setting. So for the moment, it is ignoring fall damage, puppet damage, suicide puppet damage. Basically, when you hover over these, it gives you an understanding of what they actually are. So I'm ignoring animal damage, sentry damage, suicide puppet damage, fall damage, because this is a layer on top of the global configuration. So the global configuration refers to the entire map that's not painted, okay? So this is your global configuration. So the global configuration is fall damage, allow. Basically, it's allowing everything except from auto-close vehicle doors on exit. Determines if vehicle doors should be automatically closed after exiting the vehicle. I've disabled this, or this is a disabled thing as default. But if we go to PvE, I'm asking it to ignore it because it's taking the setting which is underneath it, which is the global setting. Think of it as a wee bit like layering systems. So if I have a layer on top that says block the fall damage, the layer on top will take precedent over the one that's underneath, okay? So if we're ignoring it, it's taking the setting underneath it. So it is it's actually allowing these settings right here, it's allowing them. So the next part is base defense. These are basically all things that I don't want the players to experience whilst they are inside these painted zones. You can see them on the right, they're nice and highlighted, that little kind of hazard stripe effect. So when they are in a PvE zone, basically everything that can deal damage to them is disabled. Same with picking player locks. However, when you're setting this, don't be confused by these two. Picking player locks are locks determined by players placing locks on something, a vehicle, a container, a building, a door, etc. Picking world locks is reference to, you know, the locked containers that you can find inside certain POIs in certain police departments. That is what this is referring to, okay? So what you want to do is you want to allow this. Now, by default, I should really select ignore on this because it doesn't make sense to click allow. So that's a little fix for me to actually just apply, so I'm going to ignore that. Base building, I'm going to allow it. Flag overtake, block, we don't allow people to overtake on my server, especially on PvE zones. Vehicle parking determines if you can park a vehicle in this zone without it despawning essentially, or being destroyed after 2 hours, which is technically a setting in another area, but we'll get into that another time. Availability grid, certain systems that use the availability grid to check if an area can be used for spawning. This will mark the zone as blocked or available for spawning. Usually what this is referring to is vehicle spawns, so if there's actually a vehicle in the space of something that's there, or that's a space that's actually a spawn point, it will not spawn another vehicle until that one moves or gets destroyed, okay? Chest parking. This is just the same as vehicle parking. After a set amount of time, this chest will get deleted. Dropship encounter. Oh, they're blocking then? No, let's ignore that. That's another fix. Dropship encounters should be always ignored, in my opinion. You should experience the game to its fullest, even though you are in a PvE zone. And auto-close, we block that as well, because we don't want the... We essentially don't want the doors to close by themselves. We want the players to close them. So, if you want to set a PvP zone, it's similar in style to this. So it's similar in style to these settings, but you would probably allow everything, absolutely everything. And what you can do is you can actually add a custom zone. So we're going to add a custom zone. We're going to call it PvP. We're going to color it red. And what we're going to do is we're just going to click allow on just about everything, because in a PvP zone, it's realistically just an area where you can do anything you want. Now, my global configuration is technically a PvP zone. The global configuration, nothing that's painted here is technically PvP, okay? Everything that has a zone is technically a PvE zone or a safe zone of some kind. Apart from these purple zones, these are basically a no build zone. That's something that you can determine. You can determine no build zones, you can determine PvP zones, PvE zones, brawling zones, zones that you can only use maybe, I don't know, throwing projectiles from bolts, arrows and firearms, or maybe you only want it to be explosive damage, or maybe you only want it to be trap damage or something like that. These are things that you can set, and these are things that you should 100% use. Make use of them. If you don't make use of them, you'll just have a standard map, which is totally fine. You'll just have your trader zones, which are technically PvE zones or safe zones, and that's all you'll have. But if you want to customize your server to be a little bit different, to allow both the PvP crowd and the PvE crowd, as well as adding areas which you don't want people to build in, you can do that. Have a little play around with it in in single player, or as it's known, sandbox mode, and have a little try of it. As soon as you're happy with it, go and try it in a multiplayer server that you own. You might see that a lot of people might actually be quite interested in it, because with my server you can build in these PvE zones, you can build in these zones, you can level up in these zones. But as soon as you walk outside of those zones, you can be killed. So these are just kind of like safe zones scattered across the map in certain areas that don't cover a lot of important things. As you can quite clearly see, this is only covering a couple of towns. This is covering a town and the castle and like another little town up here. Besides that, all of this is just barren wasteland. This is all barren wasteland. This is just barren wasteland and the coastline. This is barren wasteland, wasteland again with a little bridge right here. This is barren wasteland. They've taken away the bunker here, so there's nothing really important down here. Basically what I've done is I've targeted all the unimportant areas to allow people to build bases and just play the game how they want to play it within relative safety. But I hope that has helped you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that helped you out with setting custom zones within your server, and that is an absolutely magnificent sunrise. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. If this helped, let me know down below. If you have any questions, let me know down below as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all another time.